Strategic planning and internal analysis. After having analyzed the environment, it is now time to take an organization's internal strengths and weaknesses into account. This is essential for crafting a powerful strategy that distinguishes your businesses from your competitors and leads to long-term success. BCG Matrix. The BCG Matrix, named after its investors from Boston Consulting Group, assess product on two dimensions. The first dimension looks at the product's general level of growth within its market. The second dimension then measures the product market share relative to the largest competitors in the industry. Analyzing product this way provides a useful insight into the likely opportunities and problems with a particular product. Products are classified into four distinct groups: stars, cash cows, question marks, and dogs. Let's have a look at what each of these four outcomes means for the product and the decision-making process. Star products all have rapid growth and dominant market share. This means that star products can be seen as market-leading products. This product will need a lot of investment to retain their position, to support further growth, as well as to maintain its lead over competing products. Star product will also be generating a lot of income. Cash cows don't need the same level of support as stars. This is due to less competitive pressures within a low growth market where they usually enjoy a dominant position. Cash cows are still generating a significant level of income but are not costing the organization much to maintain. These products can be milked to fund a star product. Dogs products classified as dog always have a weak market share in a low growth market. These products are very likely making a loss or a very low profit at best. The question for managers is whether the investment currently being spent on keeping this product alive could be spent on making something that will be more profitable. Question marks, also called problem children. These products are in a high growth market but do not seem to have a high share of the market. One reason for this might be that a very new product was recently added to the market. If this is not the case, then some questions need to be answered. What is the organization doing wrong? What are competitors doing right? The BCG matrix is easy to perform. It helps to understand the strategic position of the business portfolio, and it's a good starting point for further analysis. Nevertheless, this growth share analysis has been heavily criticized for its oversimplification. Market growth is one of many factors that determine industry attractiveness, and relative market share is only one of the factors that determine competitive advantage. This metric doesn't take into account any other factors that may have a bearing on both industry attractiveness and competitive advantage. Balanced scorecard. The balanced scorecard, invented by Kaplan and Norton, is a strategic management system used by business from all over the globe to align their business activities to the overall strategy and vision of their organization. We all know the business success, whether public or private, is ultimately down to performance. Hence, managing and measuring that performance is vital for any organization that wants to thrive in its niche or industry. This management system enables your business to set, trace, and ultimately achieve your objectives and strategies. After you develop your business strategies and goals, they can be set and tracked using the four legs of the balanced scorecard. Each leg deals with a distinct business perspective. These legs are the financial one, the internal business process leg, the customer leg, and the learning and growth leg. Financial. Norton and Kaplan have not disregarded the need for financial data. Accurate and timely data is always a priority, being paramount for managers who wants to get the complete picture. With the implementation of a large corporate database, the financial leg aims to automate process. The financial leg tracks your business financial performance and requirements, including return on investment, cash flow, financial result, and return on capital employed. Customer. More and more managers and researchers are coming to realize the huge importance of customer focus and customer satisfaction. If customers are not happy with your company, they will eventually migrate to the competitor. Hence, poor performance from the customer perspective is an indicator of decline. Some of the areas assessed by this indicator include customer retention rate, delivery performance for the customer percentage of market, customer satisfaction rate, and quality performance for the customer. Internal business process. This perspective allows you to measure customer process needs, requirements, and procedure. Metrics based on this lake allow you to know how well your business is running and whether your service and product conform to your company's mission. Some of the areas that relate to internal business process are process automation, process bottleneck, repeated activities across function, number of activities per function, and process alignment. Learning and growth. This perspective focuses on teaching you to educate your employees, how you gain knowledge, and how you can use this knowledge to maintain an edge in your niche. This lake deals with subjects like job satisfaction, training and learning opportunities for your employees, employee turnover, and level of expertise for the job. According to Norton and Kaplan, learning is considered a much more important criterion than training. Additionally, they emphasize the importance of using high-performance work system in order to create a better work environment. Conclusion: each of these unique perspectives or legs is interdependent. In other words, you need to improve all of them in order to reap the benefit of balanced scorecard. Hence, these four legs have to be analyzed and improved together on a regular basis in order for your company to thrive. Ignoring one of these legs is like sitting on a four-legged stool with one broken leg, an impossibility. You will eventually lose your balance and fall to the ground flat on your face. The main benefit of this system is that it reflects all the elements that define a company's function. This powerful management system also helps you study those areas where performance measurements are not normally present. However, there are a few downsides to using balanced scorecard. Scorecards tend to evolve into complex management instruments. Moreover, maintaining this scorecard is a daunting task which can take large amount of time. SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is a relatively quick way to look at organizational strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The overall purpose of a SWOT analysis is to examine the internal and external factors that help or hinder you in achieving each of your objectives. Strength and weakness are considered to be internal factors over which you have some measure of control. However, opportunities and threats are considered to be external factors over which you have essentially no control. In other words, the framework view all positive and negative factors inside and outside the firm that affect success. Strengths are the qualities that enable us to accomplish the organization mission. These are the basis on which continued success can be made and continue or sustain. Strengths are the beneficial aspect of the organization or the capabilities of an organization, which includes human competencies, process capabilities, financial resource, products and service, customer goodwill, and brand loyalty. Example of organization strengths are huge financial resource, broad product line, no debt, committed employee, etc. Weaknesses. Weaknesses are the qualities that prevent us from accomplishing our mission and achieving our full potential. Weaknesses is an organization may be depreciating machinery, insufficient research and development facilities, narrow product range, poor decision making, etc. Example of organizational weaknesses are huge debt, high employee turnover, complex decision-making process, narrow product range, large wastage of raw material, etc. Weaknesses are controllable. They must be minimized and eliminated. Opportunities. Opportunities are presented by the environment within which our organization operates. These arise when an organization can take benefit of conditions in its environment to plan and execute strategies that enable it to become more profitable. Organization can gain a competitive advantage by making use of opportunities. Opportunities may arise from market, competition, industry, or government and technology. Increasing demand for telecommunication company by the regulation is a great opportunity for new firms to enter the telecom sector. Threats. Threats arise when conditions in the external environment jeopardize the reliability and profitability of the organization business. are uncontrollable. When the threat comes, stability and survival can be at stake. Examples of threats are ever-changing technology, increasing competition leading to excess capacity, and massive price wars reducing industry profit. The popularity of SWOT analysis is down to its simplicity and flexibility. It's easy for everyone to understand, and its implementation doesn't require any technical knowledge or specialist training. However, the SWOT methodology does encourage a tendency to oversimplify the situation. Another problem with SWOT is that there are no obvious limits as to what is and is not relevant. During SWOT discussion, you need to keep everyone focused on what is important in achieving the objective rather than just creating lists of issues. Unsolved Matrix. The Unsolved Matrix is a strategic planning tool that provides a framework to help executive, senior manager, and marketer devise strategies for future growth. According to this tool, there are 4 possible combinations of growth. Each company needs to decide which strategy to use based on the strengths and weaknesses of the organization and its competitors. Each strategy has a different level of risk, with market penetration having the lowest risk and diversification having the highest risk. Penetration. This occurs when a company infiltrates a market in which current product already exists. The best way to achieve this is by gaining the customer of competitors. Other ways include attracting non-users of your product or convincing current clients to use more of your product. While market penetration may come with the lowest risk, at some point the company will reach market saturation with the current product and will have to switch to a new strategy. Market development. Market development targets non-buying customers in currently targeted segments. It also targets new customers in new segments in order to expand the potential market. New users can be defined as new geographic, demographic, institutional, or psychographic segment. If a company believes that its strength lies with its product and then believes their product will be enticing to new customers, then a company may wait to use a market development strategy. Product development. New product development is a process that has 2 parallel paths. One involves the idea generation, product design, and detailing engineering. The other involves market research and marketing analysis. Companies typically see new product development as the first stage in the overall strategic process of product lifecycle management used to maintain or grow market share. If a company believes that its strength lies with the customer, then they should consider a product development strategy. Diversification. Diversification seeks to increase profitability through greater sales volume obtained from new product and new market. At the business unit level, diversification is most likely to expand into a new segment of an industry that the business is already in. At the corporate level, it is generally via investing in a promising business outside of the scope of the existing business unit. Because of the high risk involved with diversification, many marketing experts believe a company shouldn't attempt diversification unless there is a high return on investment.